Awesome. Okay. Good morning, good morning. Great to see you all. And I'm excited to practice today. My name is Garza, and today we'll be practicing a support flow. I know the schedule said solidarity flow, but I switched them. So this morning we'll be practicing a support flow, which means that you'll want to have a few pillows or sofa cushions, maybe 2, maybe more if you want, and maybe a blanket or 2 as well would be awesome. And anything else that you feel would be supportive. Maybe some water, some flowers, some decor, whatever you want to have around your mat for your practice. We are at the Glitter Goddess Collective offering virtual community yoga every day at 10 a.m. Here on YouTube and Facebook Live. Remember that we cannot see you, so listen to your body. Feel free to pause anytime and or do your own thing. If it feels supportive for you, feel free to pause and come back to get prompts right now. And in general, we want to avoid any sensations that feel like pinches, pops, or snaps. So if you feel like your body is approaching these sensations, just maybe pull back and shoot us a message. We're happy to answer any questions if you're looking for a way to approach a flow in a way that feels better for you. Our intention together is to breathe and decolonize our bodies and community during this global crisis. And we're also raising funds for queer, trans, POC families who are especially struggling. So shoot us a Venmo if you enjoy this practice or if you're able to contribute at the Glitter Goddesses, or shoot us a message and we can figure out your donation another way. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get started. So now, hopefully, if you're hopping on, you've gotten some props. So maybe 1 or 2 pillows, sofa cushions, and 1 or 2 blankets would be nice. This is a support flow. So if you don't have those props, just pause the video, grab them, and resume when you're ready. Cool. Okay, so first up, we'll want to get a cushion or a few pillows, and I'd like to start in restorative fish. So we're going to place a pillow or a cushion long ways so that it's resting at the base of your lower back. And then we'll just lean back onto this long cushion. If you're using pillows, you could do a stack of pillows. It's okay if your head touches the floor. If that's not comfortable and you need more cushion, maybe we could roll up a blanket underneath. But the idea here in restorative fish is to have a really gentle spine opening. The hips are still heavy, resting on the floor. And our legs can be stretched long. We can bend the knees and plant the feet. Or we can open up for a reclined butterfly, which is what I'm going to do. And if you are in a reclined butterfly and you're looking for even more support, you can take some rolled up blankets or additional cushions and place them under the knees. And even though we don't necessarily need the support, having some cushion in spots where we're holding just a little bit of tension can provide relief for our muscles in that area, but also what we're doing here is just giving our nervous system a lot of information that we're safe and supported right now. And this will support healthy blood flow, digestion, essential organ functioning, moving us out of our stress response, out of our crisis response, and into rest and digest mode. Having the support of props helps us bring the earth closer to the floor, closer to our bodies. So in the support flow, we're really trying to actually minimize the work that we're doing. So if we notice our body's doing work, we'll bring pillows or blankets to that part of our body so that it can just rest. Let's find the breath here. Bring some attention to slow the breath down. Long inhale, slow, controlled exhale. Seeing if we can make each breath just a bit slower, just a bit longer, just a bit more controlled. Again, if you notice any parts of your body doing any work, see if you can take some pillows or blankets rolled up and just tuck them under that part of your body so that it can rest. A few more deep breaths here, letting the hips feel heavy on the exhale, letting the shoulders feel heavy on the exhale. And when you're ready, we can gently press up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Of course, feel free to stay here longer if you feel close. And then we're just going to make a tiny adjustment to this cushion or bolster or pillow that we have, adding an incline. So we can use another cushion, we could use a stack of books, a yoga block. We're creating an incline right here. We still have the base of our lower back. And we'll go ahead and turn to the right and adjust the hips so that both knees are bent and the right foot's resting on top of the left thigh. So we're turned to the right. Our hips are at the base of the bolster or cushion. And we can go ahead and just rest on this cushion. So I'll get into it one more way. If we start sitting, once you get your incline set up, if you sit like this with your both knees planted and both knees bent and feet planted, we can just rock both knees to one side, turn to the right, and rest the spine on this incline. And resting the right ear on our cushion. If you're looking for a twist that's a little bit more intense, then we can turn the head deeper to the right so that our left ear is resting on our cushion. And just make any adjustments that make sense to you or any adjustments that feel right. This is a supported twist, so our spine is resting heavy. As we twist, either our right ear is resting on the cushion or our left ear is resting on the cushion. And continue to bring some intention to slow the breath down, lengthen the breath. Long inhale, slow, controlled exhales. And if you don't feel like you have a cushion that feels like an incline, it's okay to even do this on the floor. So it's just like any other twist. Use your cushions, blankets, and pillows to just support where you feel it's needed. Taking slow, deep breaths. Feeling the space around the spine expand on the inhale, and exhale, feel the spine just melt heavy, deepening this twist, making any adjustments that make sense to you. And gently pressing up when you're ready, unwinding this twist, bringing the knees back up, to plant the feet, and we'll rock the knees to the other side, letting the knees fall left so that both knees are bent and the left foot is stacked right on top of the right thigh. Turning our torso to the left, we can rest the torso and the spine on our cushion, resting the left ear. And after some time, or maybe we're ready now, we can also twist a bit deeper to rest the right ear. Making any adjustments that make sense to us. And once again, slowing the breath down, feeling the space around the spine inflate on the inhale, and exhale to just rest heavy into our support. Maybe shifting our props, pillows, however feels right. And while this can be kind of an intense, deep twist, we still want our body and our muscles, our nervous system to feel supported here. Make any adjustments that bring comfort to your body. Maybe those adjustments are shifting our bodies themselves, or maybe those adjustments are rearranging our props, our pillows, blankets, and supports. Inviting long, lengthened breaths. And when you're ready, gently pressing up. Take your time, unwind. And let's come to a comfortable seat. Inhaling to squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Let's inhale for 4, hold the breath for 4, and exhale for 4. So inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath here. 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale up. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath here. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, release. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, squeeze. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, squeeze. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, release. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, squeeze. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, release. 2, 3, 4. You can gently roll the shoulders open the chest, open the throat. And we normally don't even stand up in the support flow, but today I do want to stand up. So carefully, calmly, bring yourself to standing. And just to open up the spine a bit more, on this Monday morning, I'm gonna invite us to use the wall as support. And I love using the wall as a prop and as a support system. So we'll just do a gentle shoulder and back opening. So all we need to do is find a wall. You don't have to use a ledge. It can just be anything flat. You could go here. You could use the edge of a table. And bringing the feet to parallel, maybe hip width apart. Slight bend in the knees, relax the hips. And then we'll just reach the hips back, letting the head drop, letting the shoulders open. Making any adjustments that feel good as we reach the hips back, tilting the pelvis, arching the spine. Take some deep breaths here. Few more breaths, opening up the spine, maybe tilting the pelvis a bit more, maybe reaching the pelvis back. Deep breaths. And release when you're ready. Using the wall is also a great body break if you're working at a desk and you need to do something that gives you a little jolt of energy. Opening the spine with the wall can be great. Now, since we just did that back bend, before we move to sit, we'll do one more standing support pose. So grab a pillow or a stack of books or a yoga block and just place it in front of you. Feet parallel, knees slightly bent, and we'll just fold forward. Even if you can touch the floor, I can touch the floor with my hands. We're still going to invite some support just to see what it feels like to have. So maybe we want a stack of pillows, stack of books, yoga blocks, whatever. Pressing the hands here, release the neck. And we're going to sink into this forward fold gradually, and we're going to be here for quite a few breaths. So first, we'll start with our feet. Checking in with our feet. Checking in. I know for me, I tend to press the outer edges of my feet in a forward fold, so I'm especially pressing the inner edges of my feet. Let's make sure the toes are all pressing into the floor, the heels pressing into the floor, and the inner edges and outer edges of the feet are pressing down. Knees bent, hips neutral and relaxed as we let the spine fold heavier, let the shoulders feel heavy. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. Maybe bend the knees a bit more. And we can really lean into the hands now, leaning into our support, leaning into this prop. Inhaling to bend at the knees, exhaling to straighten, inhaling to bend, exhale, straighten, inhale, bend, exhale, straighten, inhale, bend, and slowly roll up. Okay, and we can come back to the floor. Once we find a seat, once more, we can open up for a wide straddle. And just to warm up the hips here, we can start by alternating flex and point. So alternating, flexing and pointing the ankle, feet, toes. We can lengthen the spine here as well, feeling that length coming from the top back of the head, maybe pressing the hands behind us if we want a little bit of support. And to add a little bit more depth here, once we flex, we can start to lift the knees up. Notice how we're not really sliding the feet or sliding the heels. We're lifting the knees to kind of press our femur into the hip socket so that we can open and release tension in our hip sockets. So when we flex, we're lifting the knee up, and when we point, we're pressing the knee into the floor. Give yourself a few more. Let's flex both together and press, point both down. Okay. And then reaching our right arm across to the top diagonal, we'll just swing across back and forth for a little bit, kind of like making rainbows. We're warming up the hamstrings, the hips here. Keep breathing. Try to feel as much reach as we can. Feel the obliques open up when we reach across the diagonal. And coming back to center. Let's grab some props to fold. So you have some options. We can use a big stack of pillows. Some of us might just be leaning the head and chest ever so slightly forward like this. We have other options. We can make ourselves an incline. You can stuff a bunch of blankets. We basically just want to find an angle that feels like we can let our top half truly rest. So wanting to feel like our head is resting, our shoulders and chest are resting. And if you're not there, just add a little bit more support. Find another blanket, find another pillow, and just stuff it under. The intention here in this wide-legged forward fold is opening up the hips, opening up the outer hips, our abductors on the insides of our thighs. Just releasing heavy. And we're going to be here for a while, so breathe deep and slow. Keep those feet flexed to protect the Achilles and calves. Your task here is to feel heavy, especially in the head, especially in the shoulders. Slow, long, deep breaths here. Inhaling to lengthen, feeling the head reach away from hip center. And exhaling to feel heavy, release your weight into your props, into your support. After some time, you may feel ready to remove one of your props, lower down in some way. Maybe, maybe not. Just continue these slow, deep breaths, working to feel heavier with every exhale. I like to imagine that weights are being added to me with every exhale, so I just kind of sink heavier. Keep flexing the feet. If you start to feel any strain in other parts of your body, maybe add some support there. Grab a blanket, roll it up, take a pillow, adjust, move it. Gently pressing up when you're ready. So again, using the support is releasing more tension in our muscles. Our nervous system is getting this message that it can relax, that it can release, that it doesn't have to kind of hold us up. And then as a result, our muscles loosen and we can sink in with a little bit more flexibility into these spaces. So before we move into, I have two more things I want to do. Bending the left knee so that the shin is parallel with the top of our mat, and bringing the right foot around to the outside of the left knee. So the first work for us is to work on sitting this right hip down. And this might be intense for some of us. So if it's feeling intense, as you probably guessed, we can stuff some support a blanket maybe underneath that right hip. So some of us, the work might just be sitting that right hip down. If you're able to get that right hip down or onto a cushion where it feels comfortable, then the next step is to start to close to a stack, working to close ankle on top of knee, knee on top of ankle. Now here as well, we might want to stuff a prop, a blanket, a pillow underneath that right knee, just like this. So it's really just finding support and using it if it's helpful, or if we need it, or if we want it. And some of us might be able to fully close like this. Some of us might want to keep a blanket underneath that right knee. And regardless, we can push the chest forward. We can lengthen the spine and reach the chest forward as if we're preparing for a fold. Some of us may want to fold. Some of us may be like, this is not comfortable. And if that's the case, a modification we can take is to plant this foot like so and open up the outer hips right here. We can also do this on our back, like this. So all of these are really targeting the same outer hip region. So play around, experiment. And if you are folding forward, you can also take a pillow and just put it in your belly, just like we did before, and fold heavy on that. All of us keeping those feet flexed to protect the Achilles and hamstring and calves. Breathe deeply, finding that slow, long, controlled breath. Feeling the outer hips expand and inflate on the inhale. Exhaling to feel the hips melt into the floor, heavy, release. Right here, we're really opening that right outer hip. Feel free to rub it or massage it with your hands, or just visualize that space opening and inflating on the inhale and deepening, releasing on the exhale. Pressing up when you're ready. If you're on your back, feel free to just move to the other side. And just a reminder of how we got in on this side from sitting, bringing the left foot to the outside of the right knee so that our left ankle is stacked on top of the right knee, right thigh. And we can sit the hip down, working to close or stack knee on top of ankle, ankle on top of knee. Feel free to modify like so, or resting on the back. Stuffing any pillows or blankets where they might be helpful. If you're on your back, you might also enjoy having a blanket under your lower back. As we open up this outer hip and take some tension. And this part of our body, this outer hip where our piriformis is, this can cause tension in our lower back, as well as our hip flexors. This can be the source of sciatic pain. So this is a really juicy stretch for our outer hips. Our hips connect to so many other parts of our bodies, of course. So we're really targeting quite a powerful spot here with this outer hip opening. Feeling heavy on the exhale, expanding, inflating On the inhale, working to slow the breath down. One or two more deep breaths here, releasing the outer hip on the exhale, deepening on the exhale, inhaling to expand, to make space, and gently release from here when you're ready. Okay. Coming to our backs. We've done some pretty juicy folds here in support flow today. And to balance that out, I'd love to open up our hip flexors. So we'll want another stack of pillows or blankets. And just remember, if you are using blankets, you can get a little bit more height by rolling your blankets up. But what I'm going to do is plant my feet, lift my hips for a bridge, and I'm going to slide a cushion under my hips. So you might want to set up in a different way if you want to fully sit up and set up your props. But what I want to feel is I want to feel this cushion at elevation under my hips, under my glutes, under my bum. So I don't have anything under my lower back. It's really just my hips. And once we get some support under the hips, we can leave our feet planted and knees bent right here. We can also stretch the legs long for a psoas release in the hip flexors. If this feels too intense, you might want to use fewer support underneath or something that's not quite as tall. If you feel like you want more, you can add more. I'm going to add a blanket to just put a little bit more underneath. So as we open the psoas, our hip flexor here, we're opening up really our connection between our lower half and upper half. Feel free to massage your hip flexors with your fingers. Some really gentle massage here can feel so good. But mostly just wanting to invite heavy legs. Again, it's okay to bend one or both feet. If you want to take turns and do one at a time, that's cool. Because this can feel kind of intense, especially after all the sitting that we're doing in this virtual space. This hip flexor opening is key to protect the lower back and the general health of our hips. Feeling heavy in the spine. Long, slow, deep breaths here. Working to slow the breath down once more. Long inhales, slow, controlled exhales. Inhaling to feel the hips expand, inflate. Exhale to feel the hips heavy, release, deepen. Bending the knees and planting the feet if you haven't already. We can lift up and remove these props and supports to rest our hips and our lower back on the floor. So now feel free to give your body anything else it needs, maybe some knees rocking from side to side, and we'll move into Shavasana. I'd love to give some options for Shavasana. So for Trent, who's demoing with us this morning, I'll ask you to do to create an incline with your bolster. So Trent's going to demo how to use a bolster or a cushion to create an incline, elevating the spine. And then what I'm going to do is elevate the feet or my knees just ever so slightly. So I'm going to move my cushion to rest under my knees. If you have a cushion or a pillow of any size, it can feel so nice to rest that under the knees or under the ankles even. And then some other supports that I really love. I love putting a blanket under my lower back or middle back. So I encourage you to do that to bring some more support to your spine. Ooh, that feels amazing. And then another thing we can do is take a blanket and roll up one side to create a little roll and place that under your neck. So I rolled up just a few rolls of my blanket and placed it under my neck so that I'm just building in so much support into my body here. I have support under my knees so my hips can feel nice and heavy. I'm still feeling like a hip release here. I have some blanket underneath my middle back and lower back, which feels really nice. And again, it feels like my hips can just kind of sink heavy here. And then I put a rolled up blanket under my neck for support. We don't want our head to be super elevated, but filling the space between the neck and the floor can be a really supportive space. So make any other adjustments. And then of course, if you want to cover yourself up with a blanket, that feels amazing. We made it to Shavasana corpse pose. Now is the time to really release, be supported by the earth. If we're looking to cultivate openness, we can put the palms face up. If we're looking to cultivate groundedness, we can put the palms face down into the earth, into the floor. Let the ankles feel heavy, relax the ankles, relaxing the calves, relaxing the knees. Release the thighs, release the hips heavy into the floor. Every vertebra of the spine releasing heavy. Shoulders melt into the floor, elbows heavy. Wrists heavy, fingers heavy. Relax the jaw, relax the cheekbones, relax the eyelids, the eyebrows, Even trying to release the forehead. Using support, the support of the earth, the support of the floor, the support of our mat, the support of pillows, blankets, blocks, to bring the earth closer to our bodies. In this moment, you don't have to support anyone. Just be supported. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, bringing our attention back to our bodies on this floor, in this room, in this virtual yoga class. Rolling over to our side, curling up in a ball. Find a moment of comfort here. And rolling ourselves up when we're ready. Feel free to stay in Shavasana longer. Feel free to curl up in a ball for longer. We can bring the hands to our knees, bring the hands to heart center, or rest the hands over our heartbeat. A breath for the ancestors we bring to the space and for the indigenous people who were here before colonization. Breathing in and out. A breath to thank yourself for your practice today. Breathing in and out. A breath to appreciate others for their support. Breathing in and out. And a breath for the intentions and well-being of everybody in this community we're building together. Breathing in and out. Loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Thanks so much for practicing with us on this Monday morning, or whenever, if you're practicing with us later. A reminder that We are raising funds for local queer trans POC families who are especially struggling during this global crisis. So you can send us a donation on Venmo at the Glitter Goddesses, or just shoot us a message and we'll make sure that we figure that out. Please share this flow if you enjoyed it, and spread the word about our relief efforts in case there are any families that are looking for support. We'd also love any feedback that you have, if you have thoughts or ideas. And please like and subscribe to our Glitter Goddess YouTube, where we have all of our old yoga flows as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow for Solidarity Flow. Bye.
Thank you.
Cool.